The most profitable gym in America is built to fail the moment you actually use it. Here is the number that explains everything. The average Planet Fitness location carries 7,262 members. At the busiest hours of the day, the number of people actually working out is 50 to 60. That is not a slow Tuesday. That is the peak. Run the math forward and it gets stranger. If even 1 in 5 of those members showed up 4 times a week, the building would physically break. There is not enough floor, not enough equipment, not enough parking. The entire business depends on a simple, quiet fact. Most of the people paying will never come. And it works. Planet Fitness pulled in roughly $1.3 billion in revenue last year at a 41.7% profit margin across more than 20 million members. So the question worth 15 minutes of your time is not why people don't go. It is how a company engineered an entire funnel that makes more money when they don't. Rewind to a failing Gold's Gym in Dover, New Hampshire. Back in 1992, 2 brothers, Michael and Mark Grondal, buy it for almost nothing. They are losing money in a town that, like most American towns, mostly does not belong to a gym. The name Planet Fitness comes later, bought secondhand in 2002 from a man who lifted it from his daughter's school project. The empire starts that small. Every gym owner sees that same fact and reads it the same way. The non-members are the people you have not converted yet. So you compete harder for the serious lifters, the people who already love the gym, and you fight over the same 20% everyone else is fighting over. The Grondals read it backwards. They asked why the other 80% stay away. And the answer was not laziness. It was intimidation and cost. Walking into a wall of grunting bodybuilders is unpleasant if you are out of shape. And a real gym in the 90s wanted real money every month. So they built the opposite of a gym. A place engineered to feel safe for the person who has never lifted, and cheap enough that the decision to join barely registers. They called it the judgment-free zone, and they meant it as a product spec, not a slogan. The price became the headline, $10 a month. And here is the part most people miss. $10 was not chosen to be affordable. It was chosen to be forgettable. It sits below the threshold where a charge is annoying enough to make you act. $40 a month? You cancel when you stop going. $10, you let it ride for a year because hunting down the cancellation costs more energy than the charge itself. That is the first layer of the funnel. Price the entry so low that joining is impulsive and quitting is irrational. But a cheap price alone does not protect the model. If the wrong customers join, they ruin it. The funnel only works if the building stays empty, and serious athletes do not stay home. They show up at 5 a.m. They use the squat rack for an hour. They fill the place. So Planet Fitness needed a way to keep them out without ever putting up a sign that says, "You are not welcome." What they installed instead was a siren. The lunk alarm is a literal alarm bolted to the wall. Drop weights too loudly, grunt too hard, flex too long in the mirror, and a staff member can set it off. The official story is that it protects beginners from intimidation. Its real function is customer selection. That alarm is not aimed at the 80% who never come. It is aimed at the 20% who would. It tells the heavy lifter, politely and loudly, that this is not their place, so they leave on their own. And the floor stays clear for the members who pay and vanish. The free pizza on the first Monday of the month and the free bagels do the same job from the other direction. They signal to anyone serious about fitness that this gym is not for them, while signaling to the casual joiner that nobody here is going to judge a slice. So that is layers 1 and 2. A forgettable price to get the right people in, and brand theater to keep the wrong people out. Now the funnel starts taking real money. Layer 3 is the upsell. For $24.99 a month, the Black Card unlocks tanning, massage chairs, guest privileges, and access to any location. Today, 66.5% of all Planet Fitness members carry it. Read that again. 2 out of 3 people who joined a gym to use a gym are instead paying more than double the headline price for amenities that, like the gym itself, most of them rarely touch. The $10 price was never the real price. It was the anchor that made $24.99 feel like a deal. Layer 4 is the annual fee. Once a year, every membership gets billed an extra $39, quietly, automatically, on a date most members could not name. It does not feel like a price increase because it only happens once. Across 20 million members, that single invisible charge is a flood of nearly pure margin that never required selling anyone anything. And layer 5 is the exit. To cancel a Planet Fitness membership, you generally cannot just click a button. You either show up in person or mail a signed letter, often certified with 30 days notice before a billing deadline. In an era where you can cancel almost any subscription with a tap, that friction is a deliberate choice. It survived the internet on purpose. Because at $10 a month, the trip to the gym just to quit the gym is rarely worth it. So the membership rides for another month and another, long after the member stopped pretending they would go. Stack the layers and the lifetime number gets serious. A Black Card member at the newer $15 era pricing pays $24.99 a month plus $39 a year, and Planet Fitness keeps members for years. Run it across roughly 4 years, and a single member who almost never visits is worth over $1,300. Multiply one quiet, absent customer by 20 million, and the empty gym makes complete sense. And there is a sixth layer most viewers never see because it sits above the member entirely. Planet Fitness does not actually own most of its gyms. Around 90% of its more than 2,900 locations are run by franchisees, and the corporate parent collects a royalty of roughly 6.7% on the dues those franchisees bring in, plus fees on the equipment they are required to buy. So the real machine is not a chain of gyms. It is a toll booth sitting on top of other people's gyms, taking a cut of every forgettable $10 charge in the country without paying the rent, the staff, or the electricity on a single squat rack. That structure is how a company can run 41.7% profit margins on a product that costs less than a sandwich. The discipline holds for a remarkably long time. The base price stays at $10 for 26 straight years, through recessions and the worst inflation in 4 decades. Across that same stretch, a private equity firm scales the chain from a few hundred clubs to thousands and takes it public in 2015. Then in 2024, for the first time since the 90s, new members start paying $15. The anchor finally moves, which tells you the company believes the funnel is strong enough to survive a higher number at the very top. And the timing is not random. Just months earlier, in September 2023, the board abruptly fires the CEO who scaled the chain into the thousands, even though the company was posting record member counts and strong same-store growth. A leader does not usually get pushed out in the middle of a winning streak. The most likely read is that the board wanted someone willing to test the limits of the funnel, push the price, widen the upsell, and squeeze more out of a model that had been deliberately underpriced for a quarter century. The funnel even reaches down a generation. A few years ago, Planet Fitness started letting teenagers work out free over the summer, and millions signed up. On the surface, it looks like generosity. Underneath, it is customer acquisition at zero marginal cost, planting the habit early so a slice of those teens convert into paying members the moment summer ends. The same logic runs through every move the company makes. Get the largest possible number of people onto the books, then rely on the simple truth that most of them will keep paying long after they stop showing up. Look at what each layer actually does, and a pattern shows up that has nothing to do with fitness. The product Planet Fitness sells is not exercise. It is the feeling of having handled it. A low price removes the reason to say no. Brand theater removes the people who would crowd the room. The upsell raises the real price after the anchor is set. An invisible annual fee extracts margin nobody negotiated. And cancellation friction turns plain inertia into recurring revenue. That is a subscription machine that profits from non-use, and it is the dream architecture for any recurring revenue business. Price below the pain threshold, so the charge never triggers a decision. Engineer who joins, so your costs stay low. Anchor cheap, then upsell to the real number. Add a fee small enough to ignore, and make leaving just annoying enough that staying is the path of least resistance. The genius is that the customer who never shows up is not a failure of the model. They are the most profitable customer it has. Which is exactly why the most profitable gym in America is built to fail the moment you actually use it. The 7,262 members and the 50 people on the floor were never a problem to solve. That gap is the product. If you made it this far, thank you. Please like and subscribe, and check out our other videos dropped weekly. But the model has one assumption it cannot control. It needs members who join and never come back. Two forces are now pulling at that assumption at once. Regulators are circling the cancellation trap, with the Federal Trade Commission already suing other chains over exactly the kind of friction that makes leaving harder than staying. And millions of people are taking weight loss drugs that hand them, for the first time, the energy and the motivation to actually use the gym. The funnel was built for the people who would never show up. The whole empire is betting they never do.